Dongguan is a sprawling metropolis with factories and high-rises stretching more than 100 kilometers beyond the hazy horizon. What was farmland just a couple of decades ago has become one of China's busiest cities. Dongguan is the workshop of the world. The city's factories were built to satisfy the world's appetite for cheap goods. But when the world stops buying, Dongguan is in trouble. The owner of the Daily Wind watch factory, Liang Weihao, says times are hard. The global financial crisis might turn boom into bust.
我是做了钟表差不多40年了，我的公司是30年的公司，从来没遇到现在那么困难的时候，就是订单的小的真的很厉害。
Journeyman worked at one of the 2,000 factories which have closed their doors. His boss says he wants to start up again when the economy picks up. But Journeyman thinks that's an excuse to avoid making redundancy payments.
劳动法规定是，公司是我们让工人要赔一个人，他也不辞退，我们都是的工资减少。
Local business associations are lobbying hard for more government support. Liang Weihao is president of an association of companies with foreign investment. He says the Chinese government's $500 billion bailout package won't help companies like his.
中国政府呢，现在已经说了，已经有4万个亿啊，去协助企业啊，怎么样？就是振兴经济啊等等。但是能够真正杀到中小企业呢，我估计很少。
This shopping street would normally be crammed with migrant workers buying new clothes to take home for the holidays. But many factories have closed and many workers have already gone home. Local businesses without customers are facing ruin. Zhu Xiaodan says she doesn't know how the shop's owner will manage, but she knows she'll soon be looking for a new job.
今年过后我就不在这边了，我也是走了。像我打工的话，我可以自己随便跑，老板就在这边的话就跑不了。
The manicured gardens of City Hall are a symbol of just how far Dongguan has come. The bad economic statistics have been exaggerated, says Deputy Mayor Jiang Ling. The city will weather the storm because it has two great advantages.
一个是把世界上比较富有的一帮人，吸引到东莞来投资；一个就是把我们中国内地啊，就是相对贫困的一帮人吸引到东莞来打工。
Chen Shuhao sells bananas outside a factory which is shut down. He says the economic impact of the global financial crisis has not been exaggerated, and he has a statistic to prove it.
差多了，至少差了一半，
一大半。
像我们以前卖香蕉的话，
一天
2个人，以前卖1车，现在1车的话2个人卖。
It's the same story at the hairdressers across the street. Business is down by 50%. Jiang Ling is giving a friend a free cut and blow dry while waiting for a paying customer to stop by.
我来的时候买的最少的都做10几个人嘛，现在只做了几个人了，差不多。
The railway station is the busiest place in town. But even with this many travellers, this year the annual exodus of migrant workers heading home for the New Year holiday is smaller than usual. Millions have already gone home after losing their jobs. Stocking up with last-minute snacks for a 2,500-kilometre ride to Sichuan province, Zhou Zebing gets on board just in time. Zhou and his niece Liu Ting both work at the same textile factory in Dongguan, one that hasn't closed. Zhou sees his life as an example of all that China has achieved in the decades of economic reform.
我本身我是农民的，对呀，我是农民了，只不过我们出来的早。看不出来了。哎，看不出来吧？我是农民，我90年就来广东，今年18年了。
These are the people who've been rebuilding China from scratch. Cheap labor from the provinces who've flooded into the construction sites and production lines of the cities to turn a communist basket case into the world's third largest economy. At Chinese New Year, they return to their roots in the countryside, an annual pilgrimage that's the biggest migration of people in history. The 2.5 million workers who've taken the long ride home from Guangdong province over the past 2 or 3 months represent just a small fraction of the estimated 200 million peasants who've traveled in the opposite direction to find work in the cities over the 30 years of China's economic boom. This is a setback, but it's one that China can handle. A worldwide recession might make things much worse. Almost home. It's taken 30 hours to travel from a city at the forefront of China's economic boom to a part of China that still has a lot of catching up to do. The poverty of China's hinterland is what makes people set out on the hard road of the migrant worker. While Zhou is in Dongguan working, his wife stays home in Sichuan. She cooks for her husband for the first time in a year. It's 4 in the morning. Late dinner or early breakfast, it's the first of many family meals which are the main event of the holiday season.
50岁以下的基本上都外流了，因为毕竟我们的一个条件限制，我们离沿海一带、离港澳啊这一块就比较远，我们主要是一个运输，就不能满足外资企业的老板在这里生存，基本上都出去了。
A few hours later, Zhou is off to visit his father in the house where he grew up. This is about as far away from Wall Street as you can possibly get. But the financial crisis touches everyone.
儿子就出去打工吧，打工挣点钱来学儿读书要用不个，要用，也全靠共产党不个是吧？打工打点钱呢，不是读得起哦，我2个孙女读大学读嘛。
It's the time of year to visit family and friends and catch up on the news. The financial crisis is on everyone's mind. Local people depend on money from family members who go to work in the city. Fang Zhenrong is head of the local village.
如果这样这个金融风暴这么继续下去的话，或者更严重一些的话，当然从那个老百姓的心理状态，他就压力就比较大一些。
Leaving for work in the city, known as Dagong, has become a way of life for young people, a way of life that suddenly seems more precarious. Liu Cheng won't be going back to his job in an electronics factory because his income suddenly dropped in November.
10月份的时候呢，还很忙的，马上11月份的时候，马上我们那个厂啊，也是一个倒闭，马上就直接就倒闭了2个。
Liu Ting, Zhou Zebing's niece, says most young people who've lost jobs will go back to look for new ones.
会，因为像我们现在这个年龄嘛，现在这个年龄根本在家里也没什么用，因为自己手里也没有那么多的积蓄来的，只有靠自己现在出去打工，挣一点，存一点积蓄。
Across China, towns and villages are already feeling the pinch of the economic slowdown. These These young men are hoping to earn a few yuan as motorcycle taxi drivers after losing their factory jobs.
对，现在金融危机，很多厂都没事做，都放假了。
After becoming used to steady improvements in living standards year after year, China's facing a climate of uncertainty as chilly as the bitter cold mornings of a Sichuan winter. Patrick Brown in Sichuan Province.